So when they call, I am angry and I'm like, Morgan, you shouldn't do that. Like these people are working. They are not 90% of them are not even from Canada. And so I'm like, don't be an asshole. And I always think to myself, how would you feel if you were living in another country and you tried to get a job and someone was an asshole to you? So I always like have to yell at myself. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I usually don't answer it.
But it's an essential service. Like this is the problem,
I
right?
just don't even pick it up.
These things are needed. It's just like, ugh.
Here's the thing though. If everything is fine and working and you're happy with, how things are going, you don't have to answer the call.
No, I know.
You
But
know,
like I don't half the time, I don't know. This gives me anxiety. Like it's
about making a phone call,
stresses me
like
all out. Like calling bill departments, like I resist it. This
yeah,
Stripe thing is still
no,
not working. I'm so annoyed. But I have Stripe now on it, like humans. I was like, listen, I need a human to do this. I can't have AI deal with this. I need a human being to look at what the problem is. Why is it not paying out? Like, what
yeah.
is the problem? It
You
just
just have
says,
money sitting in Stripe.
yeah,
It's so frustrating.
I know. It's just like, ugh, oh my,
And then it'll work, and then it won't work, and then it'll work, and then it won't work. And
like technology is such a blessing, but because I don't
yeah,
understand it, it's frustrating,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. But I'm just like, this morning I was sitting in the living room and I thought about my work phone because I opened it last year and I thought I will absolutely use this. Like it'll be nice to have the separation, but I don't use it
Right.
ever. So Bella ended up taking the physical phone that I had for that because she wrecked hers, and so I've just had this third line, fourth line. I don't even know, four lines we have in our account just sitting there, and
Yeah,
I'm paying for it because I didn't want to pick up the phone and have to talk to Tallis.
I
So
know.
like 3 months, 4 months goes by, and today they phoned me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cancel it today.
Yeah.
35 minutes.
It's that I resist the systems too. Like today at the dentist, for example, they're like, you should do your x-rays. I'm like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, no, because immediately I'm like, x-rays are bad for you. These people are going to waste my time. Like, is it really necessary? No. I'm like, Morgan, you're here. Just do it. Just stop. Like it
Yeah.
takes 5 seconds. I'm like, when you go on an airplane, it's no better. So just get your x-ray done. And I'm like, she's like, well, do you want the dentist to come in? I'm like, no. I'm like, why? I'm like, you're here. Stop.
You don't want to have to come back again.
I have to go back because I have this cavity in my tooth, like
Yeah.
from ages ago that they did a crown, but the dentist who did it did a terrible job and overfilled it. And then it came off. I don't,
Yeah.
it's just,
Didn't seal properly.
I hate these things that are not part of like nature, like anything that is like,
Hmm.
I'm like going to the hospital. I'm like, I hate it here. Like I hate it. And I will go only if I'm like dying, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting in there. I'm like, this is so sterile in here. Everyone in here, like, what do these people even think about? Their pineal glands. I'm like, you're being negative. Stop. I'm like, okay. And like, there was like this banter going on in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, stop it. Like, and I like, oh, just anyways.
You always have the two conversations going, and I love it.
Because I'm a Gemini rising and it's like I know there's like two of me constantly in there in battle. One is like, let's just do this. And the other one's like, no, we're doing this. Bah, 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 bah. Like, are you not like this?
No, no, my mind is like very quiet, but I have like 0% air in my chart.
Yeah, I don't have a lot, but this one,
Zero.
the placement of this one, because it's in the rising sign, it takes up so much of my personality. Like
Yeah.
it's constant, like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then one of them wins sometimes, and then the other one wins, and then this one, and I'm like, oh my God. So
Isn't that what Gemini is though? What
Yeah,
is the
the
symbol for
twins.
Gemini?
The
Yeah,
twins.
twins. Yeah, okay. So that makes
And
sense.
they're like not the same twins. Like they are opposite twins.
Yeah, like the
And
devil and the angel,
pretty much, yeah.
the ego and the soul.
Yeah. It's like always, there's just, I have two personalities that I'm always battling with. I'm like, this one wants to do this, and this one wants to do this. People listening to this probably think I'm insane now.
No, they probably don't. They probably relate. I
I'm
feel
just
like a lot of people aren't even aware of their internal banter that is going 24/7.
oh my God, it's like
Have you
I
ever spoke it out loud? Like, have you ever
no,
spoke your thoughts?
it's absolutely ridiculous.
You would be like, I'm a crazy person.
Well,
Who is living up here?
today when I was grounding, I could like I caught myself. It was like, well, and you're gonna have to do this and go back to this and this, and I'm like, whoa, you
Yeah.
need to stop. I'm like, those are internal thoughts that we need to stop and switch to positive, which is amazing for this episode today.
Yeah.
And when we stop gossiping right now, we will finally, let's just say it now. Welcome to season 2 of the Empowered Hearts podcast.
Yeah. Yay, season 2.
I don't remember exactly the date of last year, but I feel like it was January. We should look into it out of curiosity. Um,
When we started.
yeah, it's been a year.
I know.
Wow.
It's amazing. Where did the time go?
Don't get me going on that topic because I'll start freaking out. I don't know. I
Like,
don't
I just
know, but
like,
it's been like really good
yeah.
and transformative. And here we are. I remember last year going on live for the first time and it was like shaking. And now I'm like, this is just what I do.
This is
And
just, yeah.
I'm just celebrating us so hard.
Mm.
And thank you to everybody that listens. The
Yeah.
podcast is growing slowly but surely. And we deeply, deeply appreciate it. So
We really do. We love doing this. I've missed it. We've taken
yeah,
two weeks off of recording, and today I was like, I'm so excited to sit down and do this.
me too.
Like, I love our conversations.
Yeah. If you guys listening wouldn't mind giving us like a 5-star rating, I'm going to put that in there, please and thank you.
Be great.
Great on Spotify or Apple. If you guys are on Apple, what is it called? Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts?
Well, it's podcasts, but I think, is it exclusive to Apple? I think it is. I don't know.
I use Spotify, so I don't know. But I know
Yeah.
on Apple, you can leave a review. We would love that so much. And even just give us a 5-star on Spotify. That would really help us get pushed out further.
It really would. We also upload to YouTube
Yes.
if you want to watch it.
Yes.
If you want the footage.
Yeah.
There's YouTube too.
So we today really want to talk about the importance of your mindset. So this will be, it's going to be continuing. I'm not going to change it to season 2, but it is technically season 2, year 2, but I'm just going to keep the number going.
Yep.
So this is episode 41. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you for listening to our gossip session of Morgan being crazy, and let's get into it.
Let's get into it. First, I would like to talk about the energies kind of and what is happening and what I've noticed. It is really easy, and this is gonna pair well with your 2 conversation mind track.
Okay.
I feel like we are really learning the importance of slowing down and being present. Now, what?
Nothing. I think I just screwed up the number, but who cares? It's just a
Is
number.
it 40?
I think it's 40, yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Yep. Potato, same thing.
Potato.
So Morgan had how many days was your last portal of dying? 10, 12? 12 days? 2 weeks?
Yeah. I think like 14 days.
Okay, so
I don't know.
14
I
days.
don't count anymore because it's just so confronting that I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention to the number because it just gets me mad. So I'd say
Yeah, it was basically, it started at Christmas
on the 24th. Yep.
and you were feeling sick and we were talking about it. Like, why is this happening? Like, why do we go through these spaces? And I really feel like this last little bit, because I went through one too last week,
Yeah. Which
was
you
about,
often don't do.
no, I never go through that.
Yeah.
And it was rough. I was so depressed. And I was like, what is wrong with me? But what it was actually asking was for us to like slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down and get in touch with our sacral chakra, which is our second chakra.
Yep.
That
Mine was
like,
burning. Mine has
yeah,
been burning.
governs your emotions, your creativity, your sexual energy. It's also the center where you hold guilt and shame.
I
It's the
know that.
center where you have the ability to receive, allow yourself to receive rest, to receive nutrition, to receive exercise. Like it's a big center.
Hold
It's a
on.
big center.
Hold on. What do you mean your ability to receive exercise?
Some people punish themselves. It's like a punishment, a form of punishment that I have to exercise, but it's actually a gift. So it's like, this is like, so receiving is allowing yourself to be like fully embodied in that thing.
So, well, the reason I asked is like, is
Yeah.
it connected to, is your sacral connected to like the dopamine that you receive from exercise?
I don't know.
So
Yes, I would say yes because it's the pleasure portal, right?
well, I've been listening to this guy on TikTok. Like he is very scientific
Yeah.
around the chakra centers, and he's like makes fun of her. He's like, to all you blondie girls in Lululemon tights saying chakra, I'm like, oh my God, this called me out so hard. But he explains how like the hormones, he's like, this is why energy centers are real. And he like gets it out of the whole woo-woo thing and really talks about it being how it connects to each hormone. And
Mhm.
it's so and that's really interesting. I'll look into
Now that you say that, now I'm figuring it out because your adrenals are around your kidney
Yep.
area, right? You've got your ovaries or testicles if you're a man,
Yep.
which is in that area,
Yep.
right? And that is where the stem of your hormone is. It
Yep.
also connects to your pineal gland,
Yep.
right? So if that passage is blocked, you're most likely having problems with your hormones,
Yep.
you know, like
Yep.
with your sex drive, with
Oh, that is yes.
your,
Because yes.
yep,
Yes.
your dopamine, your serotonin, your melatonin, even
Yep.
your pineal gland is so important.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the energy sessions that I do, so many people's lower chakras are like little pinholes. It's like
Mhm.
there's nothing flowing through there. Once you open that up, you can allow the life force to flow up into the
Yeah.
pineal gland, which is
Oh, I
right at
just
the
got
back.
a heart activation from that. Yes.
It's like everything is so interconnected,
Yep.
right? It's so interconnected. It's like each chakra spills into the next one,
Yep.
right? Like it's the same with our digestive system.
Yep.
Each organ is responsible for something, and if there is a discord anywhere, then the dominoes can't fall.
Mhm.
So it can't work together to be healthy. Like, like if one's thrown off, everything's thrown off, and that's how we are.
Yep.
Anyways, where I was going with this is this portal. If you're going through a death, if you're going through a challenging time, it's not just as simple as reaching for gratitude to feel better, because we both know that that wasn't a thing.
It was not a thing.
It was like it doesn't work, because sometimes we have to understand what it's teaching us, and we both realize that our connection to pleasure, our connection to receiving was not healthy.
My sacral is like activated as you're talking about this. It's like, yes, in like a positive way. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't online. And sometimes we need to go through those hard spaces to figure out, you know what, I need to slow down a little bit. I need to receive in my meditation fully and not channel.
Yes.
You know?
And it's really balanced, and this all ties in to this topic. So let's
Yeah.
get into this. Is like my issue was, and like is something I have to be mindful of, is allowing my masculine, and this is probably a lot of people, they're allowing their masculine and feminine to be balanced. So at like everybody has masculine and feminine energy. This is not gender specific. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what you were born as, or what you identify with. We all have masculine and feminine energy. Your feminine energy is like is connected to receiving. So like being able to receive anything. But if you think of this sexually, it's being able to, if you look at this
Yeah.
sexually, just to maybe help people understand,
Mhm.
it would be like laying on your back, like letting somebody like penetrate you, like, but like and not
Opening.
having opening, not having to do, not having to give, but there's like you can physically be like that and still not be able to receive. Like it's like there's
Yeah.
a whole, it's, and this again ties to the mindset. So this is like your feminine is like being able to surrender, which is so friggin' hard.
It can be.
So hard. I had a session with Ariel and she's like, Morgan, you need to understand that surrender is not the same as, or acceptance is not the same as surrender. And you need to get that in your head. Like I'm
Yeah.
in surrender, but I'm not accepting. And
Yeah.
it's like, so I'm fighting against my feminine of just like allowing, allowing,
Mm.
or
Mm.
allowing joy. And like, it sometimes is like an act, which is kind of backwards. So you have to use the masculine because the masculine is the doing, is the like, we are making dinner, we are
Yeah.
going to go to work, we are going to do this thing today, we're going to make this stuff happen. And the feminine is like, I'm allowing this to happen. I'm allowing, and maybe you can explain this deeper, but
No, that's right. Yep.
it's, and then it's sometimes we have to use the masculine to force us to get us in the feminine. So I have to be like, I am actively chilling the fuck out. I am actively
Yeah.
doing this, you know? Um,
Yeah. And that's what that portal did, is it
yeah.
forced us both into our feminine.
And now I'm in it and I'm like, I have things to do, but I'm like, oh, you know, and then, and so I flip
Uh,
flop, and I wonder who listening to this can, agree, or like who, you know, who experiences this. Like I'd love to know. And then I get to in my feminine, I'm like, well, you have to eat dinner, Morgan. And I'm like, but I don't want to, but I
yeah.
don't want to cook dinner, but I don't
And
want.
then you get into your masculine
Oh
and you're like, I've been up for 23 hours and I have went to the gym, I cleaned my house, I cooked 18,000 dinners, and then that's when you get sick.
right.
It's like you go on these stints where you're just like this energizer bunny and you feel amazing. It's not that you don't, you
Oh,
feel
I feel like
amazing.
I am on some level of drug I've never experienced. And it's like it's like all natural. It's like
The universe just like pulls on your pants strings and pulls you back. It's like, sit your ass down, Morgan.
so I have consciously been actively slowing down every day because I could easily lean into that energy right now. And I'm like, no, slow down. Like that's why I'm getting sick. I'm like spinning out of control.
Yeah.
My
And
ADHD is
it's,
like, woo!
well, I've heard that Dolores Cannon, we love her. She's amazing. She said that we make ourselves sick
Yes.
because
So
we don't pay attention to the cues. We don't pay attention to like we'll get like an impulse, oh, you should have an evening to watch movies in bed, you know? It's like we receive it and then we're like, "Oh no, I can't do that."
yeah,
You know? It's like I don't have time for that. It's that kind of energy where we push it away, we push it away, we push it away. And it's like, no, you need to be in both energy. You can't just be all or nothing.
yeah. And boy, do I enjoy being all or nothing. That is my flavor for life. And it is like, no.
One extreme to the next.
So let's also finish this energy update with the node switching.
Right.
So I am no astrologist, but I know astrology, some of it. And the north and south node they switch, I believe, every 18 months. Now, don't quote me on that, but I think so. They have been in Aries in the north node, Libra in the south node for the past 18 months, which is where our eclipses happen, which is connected to our fate, destiny, what we are achieving in this lifetime. And so Aries is it's a masculine energy. It's fire. It's very go, 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 go. It's a masculine structure. And so we were moving towards that and moving out of codependency, moving out, because that's what Libra represents on its shadow side. We were moving out of we and moving into I. And now it is switched into Pisces and Virgo. So the highest manifestation of this is, so the North Node is now in Pisces, which is all about spirituality. It is a feminine energy. It's water. So, and the South Node is in Virgo, which is moving out of control. So Virgo at its shadow period is very anal retentive, over controlling, and Pisces in its shadow is addiction, is avoidance, and is what's another word? I mean, there's another word, but it's avoidance and addiction, and I don't have
Anxious attachment.
No, it's just like it represents like dissociation, like
Okay.
avoiding. Think about, numbing, addiction at
Okay.
its low point.
Oh, yeah.
High point,
Okay.
Pisces represents spirituality. It represents dreaming. It represents outerly world experiences. So we're going to see a lot of triggers come up around these eclipses, around this next 18 months, around control, letting go of control. So you'll be triggered to look at this. We all are going to experience it,
How
right?
fun.
How fun.
I love this for
I
us.
will have a great time with that. And because I am like, my part of me can be very over controlling to use for safety, right? Which a lot of us experience.
Yeah.
A lot of us are, people with OCD, which I don't actually believe is a condition. We can get into that another time, but all that is at the baseline is you have learned that you have to over control things in order to feel safe. That's all OCD is, right? So it's going to be agitating. That part of all of us is like, where do you need to let go of control and trust, but not trust so much that you dissociate and sit at the bar at noon and get loaded. Like, you want to get loaded, because that's avoidance.
Yeah.
That's dissociation. That is, that is not dealing. So it's going to be interesting, but I feel like this year is going to be so interesting astrologically, and I would love to have an astrologer on here. I'm getting there's somebody I can talk to, so I will do that. But
I find it really fascinating, actually, astrology.
It is. It's some people don't believe in it, and that's totally fine. And there's different types of astrology, and I don't know enough to be able to speak on things with full confidence. So I only share what I do know, because I don't want to like sit here spewing out things that are incorrect that could be. But yeah, that's the energy update. Guys, lean into surrender. Let go of control.
Yep. But like, what does that mean? We should talk about it. So I mean, control can be practiced in a lot of different areas. One way is planning. If you're like a big planner, if you feel like you need to control other people or situations that are external to you, control diet, control routine, like it's like structure, rigidity, you
It's
know?
it's interesting, like, and structure is needed, right? We need it, a bit of it, but it's like if you're only in the structure all the time, you don't leave room for the magic to come in. And we've spoken about this a million
We
times.
have, yeah,
The
we have.
structure represents the masculine. You need the structure, but can you be flexible within your structure? Like you on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I had a little meltdown for a second.
Yeah.
Expectation.
Expectation. It's like, can you just let go of expectation? Like what our ego thinks we should be doing is not what we should be doing. Like,
No.
and you will constantly be disappointed. And but something better always comes.
Always.
So it's like what happens is helpful sometimes, right? Things collapse. We're like, but we want it to be this way. I want this job and it's going to look like this and this and this. Well, that's what your ego wants. That's
Because
what your
it feels
ego,
safer.
because it feels safe. And this is what I'm guilty of is I often let my ego take me and I believe it. And I listen and I'm like, whoa, who are you talking? Like, who is that? Who is that? Like it's like over here on my right side. It's like it like spins,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So it's being able to recognize that this part of you is planning, wanting results, expecting outcomes for a certain way. All these things, can you like drop it? And meditating is a really good way to disconnect from the rabbit hole of the ego because
It
it
is.
brings you to the center, it brings you to the now. And if we live in the now, it just like there's so much to be found in the now.
And this brings us back to the energy update in the beginning about presence.
Yeah.
Presence means that your mind is in alignment with this now moment. You are just fully here. When you are not present, you could be sitting here having a conversation and thinking about, okay, when I'm done this, I need to go make dinner and I need to do this, X, Y. Like that's not present. Right? When we let our ego just take wildfire, because it does.
Yeah.
Bringing yourself back, bringing yourself back. And that's why meditation, that's what it is.
Yep.
Just being present.
I notice when I pray, my ego gets involved and I'm like, why are we on a topic of thinking about a couch color? I'm like, I'm like, thank you for this. Thank you for that. And I'm just like, and I'm like, whoa, what?
Really?
How do we end up over there? Yeah.
Huh.
Just way out in the cornfield of someone's backyard. Like, I don't know how I got there. I'm like, can you come back, please?
Oh gosh.
Anyways, so
Oh man.
leaning into surrender and letting go of control. Like I said, it's important to have structure, right? But can you be lenient within your structure of the day? Like if something doesn't go as planned, then what? Like really ask yourself that. Then what?
How do you feel? What
Are you gonna die?
happens? Well, sometimes we think we will.
Yes, we do.
Because we're like, life is falling apart. But it's like, I always say this, redirection is God's protection. There is a reason why it's not working the way that you want it to. And it's another quote. I'm just full of quotes today. When you make a plan, God laughs. You're not meant to have your life mapped out.
No.
Because our path is not anything compared to the higher timeline.
And we all learn lessons in different ways.
Yeah.
And we all experience this, whether you're awake or not, whether you have broken out of the realization that the government doesn't care about you or not. It doesn't matter where you are on your awakened journey, where you are spiritually, we all will experience this, right? Like if something isn't working in your life, That's your lesson. That is what you're, and if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to continue to learn that lesson until you choose differently. And it doesn't matter if you're awake spiritually or not, that happens regardless.
To everybody.
And so this is why mindset is so damn important in your life, because you can be, using me as an example, even though I am so far in my spirituality, I am so awake and I'm so aware of myself, I can still be consciously in surrender and my ego was running wild. And it's like, bah, 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 and it's like, I know all this. I'm aware, and I still get caught in it. And that's human nature, right? But having your mindset, like having tools, having like practices that you can call yourself back and be like, wait a second, am I looking at the obstacles in life, or am I looking at the opportunities? Am I complaining? Am I thinking negatively? Like, what is going on? And using your mindset of positivity, really, and it's not spiritual bypass to think positively. It's being able to be like, wait a second, okay, what needs to be addressed, right? Like you and your death portal. Okay, do I need to surrender to this feeling or do I not? Am I just being negative? Is my ego running rampant? Right? And how you will know is I feel like the body responds, right? So in your case, when you had this death portal, you could not gratitude your way out of it.
No, and I know the effects of the mind. I know them because I have learned to master this ego that we have up here. Do I still get caught up in it? Yeah, we do. We still get caught up in it. But when I looked at the death portal and I was like, what have I been thinking about? That is the first place that I go. If I'm feeling off, what have I been thinking about? That is number one, because your thoughts will change the way that you feel. So if you're feeling negative, what thoughts have you been thinking? Right? And and this is another reason why mindset is so important. When you think negative thoughts, so let's say that you're having a bad day, okay? Something happens and it throws you off track, and then something else happens, and then something else happens. When you get thrown off track and then you are having the negative thoughts, your energy is negative, and now you're starting to attract more of that in, and then your mind will also look for more things to prove to you that you're in a negative space. And so negative things keep happening. And until you shift this first, nothing else is going to change.
I stopped doing a morning practice because I was like, I've got this in the bag. I'm good. Like, I am good. Every day I see miracles and my life was showing me that. And I was like, I don't need to do that. So I just got on this. I got a little cocky over here. And you know what? I paid for it. It dragged me down. I mean, I was very sick for like back to back, which really is so tough. And so I will say the mindset work, especially in the morning, like throwing on a subconscious audio or anything for that matter, listening to like a morning affirmation of like, today's going to be a good day, or like, and you can type this in YouTube or anywhere, you know, just having that go in my brain in the past little while is completely taking a shift. I'm like, whoa, you were negative Nancy. And it's like, when you're in that negative spiral, you don't even realize that it's your mind that's going.
You don't.
You believe it because you're so immersed in it. Like, it is real, it is happening, and it takes you to jar yourself to be like, whoa, like what it's so it's
Let's talk about this for a second because I just had a download come in about. Okay, so Morgan and I work like religiously on our mindset, on gratitude, on, meditation, our bodies, just to feel good all the time.
Mhm.
So when we come up against a death portal, the reason why death portals happen is because you can't continue to be the same person and expect a different result. So let's say that you're manifesting change in your life, because that's what manifestation is change. And you want to be some other person over here that has a massive podcast and a million followers. In order to get from here to here, some parts of your belief system or your ego have to die. So this is the death portal. So in the portal, it's not that you haven't been practicing gratitude or you haven't had a positive mindset. These portals will just happen for your life path.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
it's the deja vu.
And so then you lean into the portal, because I kept saying to Morgan, like, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why this is happening. And I knew that it was a bigger lesson because I
Yeah.
knew that I wasn't causing myself to feel this way. So as soon as you accept it and you just say, okay, well, I'm letting go of the reins. I'm letting go of trying to change it.
Yes.
I'm in it. Let's just let it take its course. Then the clarity comes. You're like, oh, in order to be here and be this person,
Yep.
I need to surrender to a new level.
Yep.
This space is teaching me that I need to sink more into pleasure, more into my feminine energy.
Yep.
So I just wanted to clarify that, because we can do all the things for the mindset, which are so important for everyday life, but those portals that you move through,
Yep.
they're gonna come.
They are. And it's there's a few downsides to enlightenment or what or spirituality. Like there are a few, there's a few downsides to this. Definitely having a death portal is one of them when you want to transform your life. Now,
Yeah.
I bet you people who are going through death portals who are not aware of them probably numb them away, right? I
Absolutely.
feel terrible. Oh, let's go drink, right?
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
like, and that is looking for change, but you just end up staying on that circle. So that's one thing. Here's another downside is that when you know, start to peel off these layers through death portals and you change, you now are so aware of everyone else's bullshit. You're like, oh my God, are there any normal people in this world? And it's it's crazy. Like, and the more that you transform spiritually, the more you heal. I was telling this to a client the other day. I was like, unfortunately, the more that you heal, the more that you're going to be mirrored with other people's shit. And you're
Mm-hmm.
just like, whoa. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not that they have changed. And it's not that they're acting different. It's just louder because
Yeah.
you are ripping your layers off and now your armor isn't there, right? And that's a downside. That is definitely a downside. But the
Yeah.
upside of that is that you feel better.
The other part I remember you saying, when I was in my little death portal, you're like, that's also the downside of becoming enlightened, because you're so aware of how you feel,
Yes.
right? You're so aware. It's not like back in the day where you would just brush it off and be like, oh, I'm having a bad day, or it's like what is taking place.
Yeah. And so you're like,
So
why? What is happening?
yeah, I just want to get there. Just help me figure it out. And spirit's like, you're gonna sit your ass down and be present and accept and release control. You're fine. Take care of your human. Keep doing all the things that you like to do. I didn't want to get off the couch.
Yeah.
I had no energy, so I physically couldn't do anything.
Same. Like that last one that I went through was, I was not sick. I was not like I was not sick with a cold. That was an ascension flu. And
Yeah.
if you guys don't know what that is, it's when, um, it's a death portal. It's when you are changing, you are
Mhm.
ascending your consciousness. So you are becoming more enlightened, if you will, is taking place. And I felt dead.
Mhm.
Like I had no sick symptoms. I was not sneezing. I was not coughing. I did not have an upper respiratory. I was not physically ill. I didn't have like
Mhm.
anything. I just was zapped. Like
Yeah.
I literally was like randomly just depressed and
Yeah.
couldn't move. And Crystal was like, this is an ascension flu. I'm like, no, it's not. And like I had another friend of mine who's really tapped in, was
Yeah.
like, yes, it is. And you are transmuting fire right now. You're entering, there's like different phases. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
was so annoyed because I was like, like it almost would be, I almost just was like, I don't want to do this. Like I'm so sick of the amount of times that I'm ascending, but I cannot sit here and ask for a different life. I cannot sit here and tap into my mediumship, um, in my mediumship and expect for my body and my energy to not change. Like that's just, that
It's
doesn't,
unrealistic. And
right?
I think the more that we're like, okay, I'm in a death portal, let's get the popcorn, make sure we have Netflix, get the blankets. You're going to be sleeping 9, 10 hours every night, and you're going to wake up feeling groggy and tired.
And you're gonna go back to bed.
And you're going to go back to bed because you are meant to surrender to this and accept it. You're not meant to try and push through it. And like, that's what's so frustrating when you're not sick, but you're like, no, I'm sick, like something's wrong, give me the remedy because I
Yes.
need to get rid of this
Yes.
so I can keep living my life. It's like, no.
That's the exact, that is it right there, Crystal. That is it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Give me the remedy. No, the remedy is to surrender.
Yeah.
What is God trying to ask, or spirit? You don't have like that, you don't have to use that word. What is the universe showing you?
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like really, really blessed now on on the other side of it that we both walked through it, because now maybe that will be our lesson for surrender and acceptance for this 2025.
Well, then make sure you learn. And I'm sitting here telling myself this, I'm like, Morgan, take that in. So another really good thing about mindset when you are wanting to change is, again, like if you think about something you're going after, a goal, if you will,
Mhm.
if you don't have your mind on board, if you don't have your mindset, you will literally self-sabotage yourself through fear.
Mhm.
You will. And so anything that you want in your life, a relationship, the career, the body, I don't know, a home,
Yeah.
anything, traveling, anything that you want. If your mind is in the ego, in the negative self-talk, you will not accomplish it.
No.
Because you will look at all of the things that could go wrong, will go wrong. And that is what I experience is like, but this is going to be shit because of my life experience, right? I've experienced nothing but shit in my life for the most part. And
Mhm.
so our subconscious will go to what is familiar. Our ego will attach to that. That is no fault of anybody's, right? But it's being aware that that is true, that that
Mhm.
is happening, and catching yourself and being like, no, I'm choosing differently. And that's literally all you have to do is choose
Yeah.
differently,
Yeah.
right? Because faith and fear are, I'll come up with a quote now, and this is not, I didn't make this up, but faith and fear are both invisible things that we believe in
Yeah.
that don't exist. We create them, right? One is negative, one is positive. So
Mhm.
it's up to you to choose. Do you want to choose fear or do you want to choose faith? And
See, so I just want to add this.
yeah,
A lot of people have a hard time choosing faith because what they have walked through.
yes, exactly.
And faith is invisible.
So is fear.
You can't see it, right?
Mhm.
And in the moments of your life, if you were to look at it, things have worked out. There has been moments in your life where things have worked out. That is faith.
Yeah.
Just as much as there's been times in your life where fear has played out,
Mhm.
right? So it's like, is the cup half full or half empty? What side are you leaning on?
It's literally, it's a perspective, and we are like we are mammals at the end of the day. We
Mhm.
are these creatures that are living, and we are fear based.
Mhm.
We have fight or flight. It's our, survival.
Yeah.
And we have to remember, wait a second, I'm not going to die if I tell this person off. Wait a second, I'm not going to die if I
Mhm.
choose to believe things are going to work out. But it's that ego, it's that fear, it's that reptilian part of us that pulls you down. And it's using your mind as a tool to your mindset be like, no, I'm choosing to believe that this is going to work out. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay, but you are damn well going to make sure it's not going to work out if you constantly are thinking about it. You won't even continue with your goals, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll self-sabotage yourself. So it's keeping your mind positive. It's keeping your mind in faith, in belief, in
Mhm.
trust.
And things not working out doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. It just
Yeah.
means that not right now, or there's another way.
Yeah.
Always.
The
And
only way you can fail is if you give up.
yeah, because there's only lessons. Like if it doesn't work out, maybe that's your lesson on control
Mhm.
and expectation.
This is such an hilarious conversation with two people with Sag moons. Like this is just we are just so similar in the way we think. And
Yeah.
I'm sure this drives some people crazy because some people are not into this, right? But we just see the world with our perspectives like this is from our moon, right? It's just
Yeah.
having this Sagittarius, everything is nothing and everything is everything all at once is like just
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
Just is because it
It
is.
just is. Because
It just
it
it's like
is.
the most like eye rolling spiritual thing. It just is.
It just is.
Let it be. I don't know. There's like some really ridiculous quotes I've seen people, and I'm just like, oh my God, is that what I sound like? We're just
It's
here in the now, breathing the yes. I know.
faith always. It's not
Thank-
very often that I get scared about anything or like worry or fear, but
Mhm.
I do get wonder on my mind.
Yeah.
Like I'm like wondering when or wondering how, but
Hey,
I don't become like wrapped up in it.
yeah.
It's easy for me to be like, it'll work out. It has to. It has to work out.
And it's a mindset. It's choosing that mindset will, and it's again, it's not spiritual bypass. It's not like I'm not saying don't look at the things, don't recognize the hardships in life, because that is what I do, is I
Yeah.
help people look at the hardship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at it, let's transmute it, and then go over here. And if we need to go back, that's okay. But swimming in that all the time, it's like muck. It will literally, it's like sinking sand. Didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, quicksand.
Quicksand. It will pull you under,
Yeah.
and it's like surrendering, being like, okay, nope, I'm gonna be positive. And it's not being positive, it's just it's taking the fear and being like, no, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, you don't have to go down that road.
no, but we
You
don't
do
realize.
have control over your mind. A lot of people don't realize that. It's like, and one example I use is if you sit here and close your eyes and you think about an apple, you know, a red apple,
Mhm.
you are forcing your mind to concentrate on something, you have that ability with everything.
Yep.
To force yourself to concentrate on something good. And it takes 19 seconds to shift your energy. That's it.
Wow. Do you know what I think it is? Like, as you said that, because I can be so into my ego, like I'm so guilty of this. I should stop saying that because that's telling my subconscious mind. But is that it almost feels like concerning to let go of the fear.
Mm,
No, it's like, well, if I don't worry about this, like, am I going to be okay? Is this going to happen? Like that is also over controlling.
yeah.
By having your mind constantly worry about something and focusing on that fear, it's like keeping an aspect of like, well, if I don't like, it's like you have to let go of that control. And that is a whole other thing of like,
And that's where hypnosis would be great.
it is.
Sign up with Morgan. She can help you.
Absolutely.
It's attachment, because unless a human being doesn't have something to solidly attach to,
Yep.
you feel unsafe, you
Yep.
feel lost, you feel like you're in the dark, like there's nowhere to go. And we aren't supposed to be attached to anything.
No.
Nothing. Just an orb floating around
I know, but
in the
we're
ethers.
both. We're the orb
We
and
are
the body,
both.
so it's the balancing, right, of the two. And
Yep.
so, well, I feel like this concludes this episode. Our first
Yay.
episode of the year. We would love if you guys listened this far, if there's any ideas that anybody wants assistance with or topics, done on podcast done on, we would love to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, this year is going to be exciting. This is going to be, I mean, it's technically not the new year, but I'm not going to bore you guys with my astrological stuff. But we are still in the dead of winters up here in North America. And
Yep.
so we're still technically in the old year. The new year is coming in March. And yeah, so it's going to be a beautiful year full of transformation and growth. This is a big year, and I'm going to get somebody on here to talk about the astrology.
Yep, I love it. Also, before we go, what allows you to feel like you have an empowered heart right now?
Literally, this whole topic is presence and letting go of fear.
Yep. Yep.
How about you?
Presence. Presence is my lesson right now. And so practicing that over and over and over.
Yep.
Just presence.
Just presence.
Just presence.
This was so good. I missed this.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we will see you next week.
See you soon.